I made $4,990 trading today, and in this video, I'm going to show you guys the exact trade I took, and I'm going to explain my strategy to you so that you guys can take trades just like this. So let's talk about the trade. First things first, what trade was this? Why did I get into it? Let's talk about it, all starting from the very beginning. So when the market opened up today, here are the levels that I marked out. I marked out my London high, untested high right there. I marked out my London low, my Asia low, and then I marked out this New York low. And all of these levels were hit, so we'll talk about that a little bit later in the video, but the only other level I marked out, and the most important level, was the New York Open right here. So this candle is simply the candle at 8 a.m. All you're doing is marking out the top to the bottom of the candle, the entire candle, just like this. And this is one of our most important areas. I'll explain why right now. So when we're looking for a break and retest, the zone we're referring to and the level that we're looking at is this, right? It's this New York Open right here. This is a major area of liquidity. This is an area that when price hits this area, we expect it to have a large reaction because there's lots of orders sitting around this area. So when price comes up and interacts with these orders, it's either going to make a big move up or a big move down. And as traders, we love that because these big moves are what allows us to have really good trades, meaning we can catch a good risk to reward ratio. So I'll show you guys exactly how that played out. So when the market opened up this morning, I saw that we were trading below the New York Open. So right around here, when I was sending out the game plan, when I was pretty much just telling the Discord what I'm looking for, I said, we've already had the break to the downside. So now we're pretty much just looking for the retest. Retest being price comes up, retests this New York Open. And today I wanted to wait for a little bit more confirmation. So what I was doing today is I was pretty much seeing if price was going to close over the midpoint on the 1 minute. My confirmation was that if price failed to close over the midpoint on the 1 minute, I was going to take shorts. And I took shorts right here. And I actually added a little bit to my shorts right here when we touched this midpoint again, just because I was so confident in this position. And we ended up getting our break. We got our retest, which is where my entry was. And then we got our move to the downside. So when you guys hear me say break and retest, I want to be very clear. This is the break. This is the retest. And the move that we're making money off of is after the break and retest. So break, retest, and then a continuation in the same direction that price broke out to. That's the key area. That's the key thing here, guys. Continuation in the same direction that price broke out to. That's how we're making our money. Because if you guys look at this, you can see that this is actually a big downtrend. So when we have days like this where we have a super clear trend, not only are we getting this beautiful entry into the break and retest, we're also shorting a reverse pullback. You guys can see we had a high, and we made lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then we had this downtrend. And the great thing about having such accurate levels is we can have very clear targets for our plays. I got out of this trade right here for exactly, or not exactly, but 9.75 points. So that was why, or I was able to know to get out there because I had that level. So these levels can act as targets. These levels can act as areas that we know are going to be important. So we should always factor these areas into our decision-making process, whether this is going to be, take profit level or we're going to have a stop right below this high. These levels are always, always important. Now, another thing that I want to talk to you guys about is why I am not trading tomorrow and why I encourage you guys, if you're using my strategy, to avoid trading tomorrow. Here's why. So tomorrow, you guys can see that we have FOMC. We have FOMC, meaning we are likely going to have a very, very volatile day. And more importantly, price is likely not going to be moving off of technical factors. Price is going to be moving off of news, meaning this is very hard to predict because price is not going to be respecting our levels. I don't like trading on days like this. In my opinion, trading on a day where price is not respecting your levels is just complete gambling, and you should 100% avoid it. We've had pretty decent price action today, and yesterday we had, so-so price action. I still caught a decent trade yesterday. You guys can watch that recap, but I think that tomorrow is going to be a very, very volatile day, and I do not like exposing myself to risk when I don't really see there being a good reward. Here's how you guys have to think about money. Money is like ammunition, right? You should only be deploying money or ammunition when you have a very clear target, when you're very confident that you're going to be able to capitalize on the reward. When price is not going to be respecting my levels, why on earth would I take a trade? Like usually what I notice happens on FOMC day, and sometimes, this won't happen and we'll get a clear setup, but I usually try to avoid trading it because if price is purely moving off of news about Powell and news about Trump and news about the interest rates, that means the price is not going to be respecting our level. So let's say the price opens up here and then just, goes right through this level, right through this level, right through this level. Why would we trade that, guys? Why on earth would we trade that? Because That's just completely gambling. Why wouldn't we just say, okay, if I trade today, I am likely to lose money, so I'm going to avoid trading today and trade tomorrow, right? And that's very hard for a lot of you guys to do because a lot of you guys think of trading like your 9 to 5 job. And I did that in the beginning too. You look at trading and you're like, okay, I have to work so much so I can make so much money. You're not paid by how many hours you work. If you were paid by how many hours you work, a lot of you guys would be very wealthy by now, but you're not because you're paid by the quality of your decisions. And if you're making bad decisions, if you're taking bad trades, you're going to lose money. It doesn't matter if I trade for an hour a day and you trade for 10 hours a day. If I am making better decisions than you, I'm going to make more money than you. And I do make more money than, a lot of you guys. I'm not trying to flex on you. I'm just trying to give you guys perspective. Like, you probably work more hours a day than I do in terms of trading, but I'm making more money because I am focused on the right hours. Another thing that keeps me disciplined and allows me to focus on the money-making hours is having a simple trading plan. I can give my trading plan to you guys right now. If you guys are trading my strategy, you should be trading from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You should be targeting a trade with a 1-to-3 risk-to-reward ratio. You can set your own loss limit. Mine's personally $2,500. If I lose over $2,500, I'm done trading. If I make over 10 grand, I'm done trading. So you guys have to have some element of consistency in your trading, and I encourage you to have it be with the hours you trade. I don't know why you wouldn't have consistency in the hours you trade. The only reason I could think of is if you have a job that gets in the way of that. But if you don't have a job that gets in the way of that, you are completely blessed, and you should use that to your advantage. I remember back when I was in college, there was a very clear reason on why I like this strategy. I made sure all of my classes happened at like 1 p.m., right? Like, I tried to do that. So every single day I'd be waking up and I would trade the strategy. And then after I found my trade, I wouldn't even go to class that much, to be honest. But if I was going to class, I would be going to class. So the reason I say that is because you guys need to understand, if you don't have consistency in your trading, you are not a trader. You are a gambler. You also need to have guidelines. One of my guidelines, like we're talking about, is that I'm not going to trade on FOMC day. Just a quick recap. If you guys don't know what FOMC day is, they are deciding the interest rates. The interest rates are pretty much a number that controls how expensive money is, right? What do I mean by that? How expensive is it to borrow money? If the interest rates are higher, right, it's going to be more expensive to borrow money. If it's a 5% interest rate, you're paying 5% interest on a loan, more expensive. If they're lower, it is easier to borrow money, right? It's cheaper to borrow money. So that is considered more bullish for the economy because people can start businesses easier. People can get mortgages easier. People can just do things easier, right? People can do things easier when the interest rates are lower. So this is a pretty important decision, right? And you guys can see why I'm avoiding this, because I don't want my trades to be dependent on what comes out of Jerome Powell's mouth. I want my trades to be dependent on my setups, my levels, and the things that I use every single day. Real quick, I'm going to show you guys some other people who got this trade, because pretty much every single person in the mentorship caught this trade today, so it's really cool to see. And I just want to reinforce to you guys that this strategy works. Mario got that break and retest. You can see that right there. Whoops, didn't mean to zoom in, my bad. KB Trades, quick and easy retest. He got that for $444. Brian made about $300 off of that. Boom. And Jordan took an L, unfortunately. Don't really know what he was trading. Wish he'd give us a little bit more information, but it happens to the best of us. Josh said break and retest to the downside for $560. He said that's what we do. Boom. Dro, break and retest. He made, how much money did he make off of that? $893. That is what we do. My man Mikhail, he said he was down 130, but he made his loss back, made $320. I love to see that. I love seeing this, guys. And it just is so great for me to see other people using my strategy. I absolutely love it. This was this guy's first day in our community, and he caught the break and retest for $1,000. That's beautiful. Order filled. We get pretty hyped. Because when everybody's catching the trade, it's just fun. It's fun in the futures chat. Order filled. He made $500 off of that break and retest that I did shout out in my game plan, as always. IRC said, stop playing, baby. You can either work for $25 an hour or make a band in 5 minutes, The choice is yours, for real. I absolutely love these people in here. I'm so blessed. I genuinely have the coolest people that I work with. But yeah, it's so cool to see. Blurry caught that break and retest. This guy said he's not in premium. He took one small loss. Should have been in premium, man. We would have got you right. No, I'm playing. But my man Solid made $969 off of this trade. It's really cool to see a lot of these guys, because this guy joined the mentorship, I think, like 8 months ago. So it's cool to see a lot of these guys just, doing their own thing now, just every single day, day in, day out, making money. My man John Caught that break and retest for $838. Love to fucking see it. Oh, excuse my language, my bad. And then SSJ, he made $775. Boom! Like literally everybody in the mentorship caught this break and retest to the downside. If this doesn't prove to you guys that my strategy works, I don't know what does. Kill Kitty caught the break and retest for $194. The reason that some people are making $1,000 and some people are making $200 is purely because we all are trading with different account sizes. ZJR caught the break and retest to the downside. He made, what is that? About $1,600 there. Sergio got that. My man IRXB got that too. Benny has been absolutely crushing it. Benny's getting a lot of payouts. Benny's goal when he joined the mentorship, he wasn't a beginner. He joined and his one goal was like, hey, I need to get a payout because he was just struggling with the funded accounts. And now this guy is not only banging trades every single day, but he's making consistent money off of payouts, which was his goal. So it's cool to say that we helped him get there. And he put in the work as well. Boom. Heatless got the break and retest. So did Parab. Parab, he said, made $1,000 before some people even woke up. And that's the truth. Like, that's what happens when you guys put in the work. Julio got the break and retest. Kyle caught the reversal on NQ. Roots, $3,500 on the break and retest. Boom. I love to see it. Brian looks like he took the break and retest too. And C. Dot took a short on Bitcoin, it looks like. Or NQ. First ever payout, just hit my Ys. That's what we do. That is so cool to see. I mean, I don't know how else to prove it to you guys. That's literally his bank detail, or not his bank details, but a bank wire of him getting the payout. So I love to see that. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, just get your hand held and have one-on-one mentorship, click the link. We're going to hop on a call. Only reason that we're doing a call is because this is not a course. This is not a buy now course thing. This is a coaching program. So if we are on the call with you and we look at you and we say, hey, we know that we can get this guy to his goal. And where we want to get you is $10,000 or more monthly as a profitable trader, right? We want to get you to the point where you're making $10,000 to $20,000 a month consistently. So if we know that we can get you there, then we'll work with you and it'll be fun. It's fun. I love doing this. As you guys can see, this is my passion. I absolutely love this. I eat, sleep, breathe, all of it, trading. So thank you guys for allowing me to make these videos and for watching these videos. I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.